weekend of the 2025 season. We've got the Towson Tigers and the Monmouth Hawks next. Look at where these two teams come in tonight in the conference standings, 5th and 11th, but only separated by 2 games. There's a logjam in the middle of the CAA women's basketball standings. We've got 2 games left to clear it up. Good evening, everyone. Welcome inside the Ocean First Bank Center alongside Jackson Heil. I'm Kevin Kopp. Jackson, a lot at stake going into the final weekend before the postseason. And look no further than 2 teams that are 9-7 in the conference in Monmouth, 7-9 in Towson, and with 2 games, they can make up a lot of ground.
I mean, it's March, baby. Regardless of where you are in the standings, the magnitude of these games is heightened at all times. But especially for a Monmouth team, they can finish as high as 5th, they can finish as low as 11th. This is a massive homestand, and it starts with a big one tonight against the Tigers.
Well, absolutely. And Jackson, let's take a look at a couple of players that we know will have an impact on tonight's proceedings. We're going to be with the leading scorer for Towson, India Johnston.
She's one of the best jump shooters in the CAA, and you look at what she's been able to do over her last 5 games. 48% from 3. She's 12 of 25 from behind the arc in those contests. Monmouth has to run her off the 3-point line. She can really ignite this Towson offense. When she gets going from beyond the arc, this Towson offense is so much different. And for Monmouth, speaking of ignition, Taisha Exner, really since the beginning of February, has been a completely different player offensively. Her aggressiveness going to the rim has been such an X factor. You can see the numbers over the last 5 games, averaging nearly a double-double, 17 points, 9.5 rebounds. She impacts the game at such a high level defensively, but her aggressiveness going to the rim on the offensive glass, maker for Monmouth.
In the first meeting between these 2 teams, as we look at the head coaches, Laura Harper in her 3rd season on the bench for Towson, and Kate Wetmore in her 1st season for Monmouth, though these 2 programs are just a couple years removed from meeting in the CAA title game, so they have very high aspirations and a lot of hopes at stake here in the last couple of weeks leading into the postseason for both these programs.
I don't think it could be understated the job that Kate Wetmore has done this season. She had really big shoes to fill taking over for Ginny Bogus, and they got off to such a tough start, starting the year 0-6. They have righted the ship, and they had themselves in position to finish over 500 in conference play.
We are underway on Thursday night here in West Long Branch, just a mile from the Jersey Shore. Towson finishes with 2 games on the road. Monmouth begins a 2-game homestand to close out the season. The Tigers in black, the Hawks in white. And Towson on the opening possession gets that mid-range jumper. You said it, Jackson, the jump shot for India Johnston, and she proves you right away.
It's a beautiful set to start the game from Coach Harper. A little back screen chin action into zoom to get Johnston coming off a pin down, and she's wide open for that pull. One thing that Monmouth did so good in the first meeting is they go under a lot of screens and they do a lot of guard-to-guard switches. They really want to force Towson into a lot of tough 2s. Johnston is the exception to that rule because of her ability to shoot it from deep and her ability in the mid-range as well.
Well, this game was a defensive battle in the first meeting down in Towson earlier this season. 56-54 win for Monmouth. Looking down low, turnaround inside for Deja Bristol, the 5th-year transfer out of Northeastern. Towson with the first 4 here on the road.
Tough move by Bristol. They went right back to that same set with the chin flare.
Rodriguez, who missed on the jump shot from the elbow on the first trip, misses there from 3. She's 0 for 2. Monmouth comes up empty, and here's Towson a chance to stretch the early lead.
It's a Towson team that turns it over a ton. They're averaging 18 turnovers per game this season. Monmouth didn't really do a good job of turning them over in the first meeting, but they forced them into a lot of difficult shots.
Well, hitting early, Kayla Morris knocks that down, and 3-point shooting, Jackson, I think a huge factor. You look at the first meeting, Towson was 1 for 14 in the game, so they've matched their 3-point total here early on. Get another stop with Morris pulling in the board, and Towson a chance to add to the early 7-0 run.
That's exactly where the issues have been. Turning it over in transition for Towson, an issue all year long. It leads to a touchdown on the other end.
Well, and Damaris Rodriguez just takes advantage of the speed. You don't allow Towson to get the defense set, and that's really a free 2 points for Monmouth on the live ball turnover.
I think that's one of the real keys to today for Towson. They want to play in the half court. When they speed things up and they try to play in transition, that's where things start to get sloppy and you start to turn the ball over. And they did such a good job in the first meeting of taking care of the basketball. Have to do a better job today.
Double move by Bristol inside, a better job by Cranbull to try to pull it down, and this ball is tipped out and will stay with Monmouth. So the Hawks get on the board after a 7-0 run. As you look at Cranbull, 4th in the conference in block shots. This is the leading team in the CAA in block shots. And boy, Belle Cranbull had herself a career day in the first meeting between these two teams. Have to imagine that number 24 is going to be circled on the Towson scouting report this time.
I mean, you knew it was going to be a big day for her, where first possession of the game, she knocks down an 18-foot jump shot. We don't see that from Belle Cranbull very much, but she did such a good job of getting her work in early, setting herself up in the post as Johnson knocks down another one. Towson has to do a better job against her of fronting the post and not letting her catch at the foul line. That's where she's so effective in facing up and creating for her teammates.
Career high 22 points on 11 of 13 shooting from the field, and you could see Bristol doing that work to get established early, pokes the ball out. It'll stay here with Monmouth. 20 on the shot clock as they inbound. Rodriguez out to Farley, left open for 3, no good, and Morris has herself another rebound.
Towson caught a break on that one. They tried to X out off the inbound on the baseline initially, but they then switched back, and Farley was wide open for 3, very capable of making that shot.
Wakefield passes back out. Morris wants another look. This one comes up short. Rodriguez gets the rebound, bringing it up with some speed into the front court. Looked inside to Farley, and the battle for it over in the corner. Good job by Towson to come away and force the turnover.
How about Turner getting on the floor with authority? Looked like she was initially just trying to cause a tie-up, but eventually able to strip it away from Farley.
Johnson, who's been hot early with those 2 mid-range jumpers, holding up top. Stop and go, and she fooled Wakefield there. Turnover, though, at least this time a dead ball turnover for Towson, so they'll be able to get the defense set. And interestingly, Jackson, not in the starting lineup for the first time in the last 4 games. Hadi Lay, the 6'2 freshman who has been really impressive for Towson, she checks in along with a couple others off the bench.
She does such a good job of getting herself to the rim with authority, and she is at the top of the list when it comes to shooting percentage in the CAA, but surprised not to see her in the starting lineup today.
There's a 3 from Taisha Exenor getting it going. We talked about her recent hot streak, averaging 17 points, 9.5 rebounds, and she gets on the board.
And ironically enough, that's where she's been struggling, the 3-point line. She has not shot the ball all that well. She's been so aggressive going to the rim. Hopefully that can open things up for her.
Johnson, the step back 3, no good. A rebound to Exenor. Monmouth with a little bit of momentum here, trying to dig out of the early hole. Davine DeBula has come in off the bench down low for Monmouth as well. Rodriguez will flip it to Exenor, drives the left side and draws the contact from Kayla Morris.
And that's where she's at her best. Quick catch and rips it immediately to her left. Her length alone is going to cause so many problems at the rim. But you can see again, this is the possession before. She's not a great 3-point shooter, but if she's going to catch it and have time to face up with no one in her face, that's a shot she is more than capable of making. And sometimes all it takes is one make to open things up for her to attack, and immediately on the next possession, she does just that.
Exenor good on the first of 2 free throws, and Monmouth has cut it to a 9-6 deficit here as we approach the midpoint of quarter number 1. Exenor, 70% free throw shooter, hits them both.
Even though she hasn't really gotten a touch yet. Davine DeBula, I've liked her energy early on in this one. She does a lot of her work early in terms of setting herself up in the post. It's opened things up for her teammates.
3 from the near wing, no good from Anasia Staten, who's come into the game off the bench for Towson. Monmouth the chance to tie it up or take the lead. Rodriguez taking it coast to coast herself, high off the glass and in.
I think that's been her biggest area of improvement this year, has been her ability to finish around the rim. Early on, coming to the Division I level, I think she struggled a little bit with the physicality and the adjustment to that, but she has been able to use her body excellently around the rim of late.
transfer out of D3 NJCU, and it certainly has translated. But how about Johnson with the hot start early? Now, she is a 35% three-point shooter. In addition to the mid-range game, she can beat you from deep, and she's got 7 of Towson's 12.
I mean, that's just too easy. If you're going to let her catch and shoot with really not much pressure at all from straight on, she's going to make that more times than not.
Flipping it into the post for Farley, and we've got the whistle that will bring us to our first timeout. Towson scores the first 7. It's a 3-point game midway through the first quarter. Tigers 12, Hawks 9. Back after this.
Greatness never settles. That's why the Monmouth University Hawks drive World Subaru, the #1 Subaru retailer at all of Central and South Jersey. Visit World Subaru today, proud sponsor of the Monmouth University Hawks, or online at worldsubaru.com. Go Hawks!
I'm the director of the Cancer Center, designated by the National Cancer Institute.
We are here to make an important distinction.
There are cancer centers.
And there are NCI-designated cancer centers.
Recognized for world-class research
and positive impact on their communities.
No single person is going to cure cancer.
It'll take a team effort.
That's what an NCI-designated cancer center is all about. In New Jersey, there's only one, Rutgers Cancer Institute in New Jersey, together with RWJ Barnabas Health.
This is where everything starts. It's a place of new beginnings, new opportunities, and a new identity. We are the Coastal Athletic Association, and from the beaches to the city streets, we are united to succeed at an elite level, in competition, in our communities, in our lives. This is the tide that lifts us, the fire that burns inside all of us. This is our moment, our new chapter. We are the CAA, and we are united in excellence.
Hey, what's up, roomie?
Danny DeVito? Are you my freshman roommate?
And that doesn't matter. This is a Jersey Mike's commercial where the subs matter most.
You took both bunks.
I got a lot of stuff. Where the subs matter most. It's a Jersey Mike's thing.
A look at the series history between these two new CAA opponents. Monmouth leads the all-time series 4-1. They've won 4 straight after dropping the opener. And as we said, that first matchup back on January 10th, it was all about defense as Monmouth won 56-54. Jackson, give us a look at what it was that Monmouth did so effectively defensively in the first meeting.
Well, we mentioned it earlier a little bit, that Towson offensively, where they really struggle is turning the ball over. You see the average 18 a game, 6 turnovers tied a season low for them against Monmouth. But you look at the mid-range field goal attempts. That is a staple of this Kate Wetmore defense. They want to force you into tough twos. Those 25 mid-range attempts match the most against any CAA opponent this season. And part of it is they go under and they try to force you into a lot of threes off the dribble. And they were 1 for 14 from behind the arc in that first meeting. They've already made 2 today, though, however.
Here's our first look at Hadi Lay. Well defended by Debula. She's got to give it up, but mid-range game working out so far. Anaya Jenkins knocks down her first 2, and Towson stretches the lead back to 5.
But again, that's a shot that Monmouth, for the most part, is going to live with. It's off the dribble. It's 18 feet away. That is the scouting report against this Towson team. They've made a few early. If they continue to make some, you got to adjust. But at some point, you got to stick to your principles, and have to imagine Monmouth's going to continue to do that.
India Johnston bringing it up into the front court, leading the way with 7 points here in the first quarter for Towson. Staten on the drive, misses long, rebound on the weak side to Farley.
I think you got to play through Johnston pretty much every possession. So smooth off the dribble, and she opens up things on the interior whenever she has the ball in her hands.
Debula, tough angle from where she received that pass, able to get it up and in for her first 2.
Such an underrated job of providing a target for her teammates this season. You see that when Rodriguez gets caught in the corner, really nowhere to go, and Debula just slips to the baseline underneath and uses her strength once she gets the ball to create some positioning.
Johnston again. This time short on the 18-footer. Rodriguez, coast to coast, using that speed and great body control in the air to finish it off. She's got 6.
Talked about it before, but I mean, her ability around the rim has improved so much as the season has gone along. She was really kind of steady in the mid-range in the early going. Her ability to get to the basket has changed the ceiling for this team offensively.
And Towson has found the answer so far. Jenkins with a couple of baskets since the timeout. They've had the answer each and every time for Monmouth as we hit the 2-minute mark of quarter number 1.
And we say you don't want to stray from the scouting report, but that time it's simple. It's a catch and shoot shot from the elbow. They're going to make those a lot.
Exenor, meanwhile, has her second three-pointer of the quarter. Not necessarily on the scouting report that she shoots at 29% from 3, but she's knocked down a pair here early. She's got 8, and Monmouth has tied it up again.
You mentioned the scouting report, too. When it's catch and shoot, it's so much different than her forcing things off the dribble. Her 2 threes today, wide open up top, catch and shoot, and a shot from the corner, catch and shoot. Those are very makeable for her.
Monmouth the chance to take their first lead. Dabula banging her way down low. And they're going to get her for the charge here. That little forearm separation to try to clear some space.
Just did a little too much there, Dabula. But here's Rodriguez again in transition. Look at the body control and using her back to protect from the defender. You can see it from a better angle here. Just takes away any chance of that shot being blocked and put a little English on it for the finish.
Staten finding Jenkins. The turnaround jumper at the free throw line won't go. Exenor another rebound. 8 and 3 for her in the first quarter. And Exenor now going coast to coast herself. Forces it up in traffic and gets it to drop.
It's a simple north-south game for Taisha Exenor in transition. She's so fast. She has great length. And how about the acrobatic finish in there? We've seen a couple early on. Rodriguez before, and now Exenor. Those two leading the way for the Hawks.
Johnston, catch and shoot 3, there it is. And boy, the offense, Jackson, all this talk about defense, both teams can't miss a shot here in the first quarter.
But again, that's something you cannot allow for Johnson. It's the second time we've seen it. Monmouth playing that matchup zone. And this is the second time that Johnson has been able to catch and release with fluidity from straight on. When she's wide open from beyond the arc, we've seen over the last 5 games, she's not going to miss very many.
Monmouth going to play for, well, I thought they were going to play for the last shot of the quarter. Instead, Haynes puts up a 3, and Towson's going to have some time as they get to it. And not going to get a shot off at the buzzer with the ball in Johnston's hands. They might have had a look. High scoring start as Towson has the lead at the end of 1. Taisha Exenor, double figures in the first quarter. She's got 10, leading the way for the Hawks. Matched point for point by India Johnston, who's got 10 of her own, and it's Towson by 1 at the quarter break. Tonight's broadcast of the Monmouth Hawks is powered by the Monmouth Medical Center, an RWJ Barnabas Health facility, and a recognized leader in patient safety and clinical quality. For more information about services close to you, visit rwjbh.org/Monmouth. RWJ Barnabas Health is proud to be the official healthcare provider of Monmouth Athletics. Kevin Kopp, Jackson Heil with you. A wildly entertaining first quarter. Jackson 19-18, Towson in the lead, and a couple of great individual performances leading the way. How about 10 points from Taisha Exener for Monmouth and 10 points for India Johnston of Towson?
I mean, we highlighted them before the game for a reason. I figured we knew this was going to happen, but I didn't think it was going to be this explosive. But for Towson, I mean, Johnston, you could see how smooth of a shooter she is. She gets that high release. It's so quick and smooth. Then for Exener, as you see right now, she does her damage in a variety of different places. I didn't think we were going to see her make 2 threes in that first quarter, but it opened things up for her to get to the rim and then starts the quarter off with an offensive rebound putback.
They're both on pace to shatter their season and career highs with 10 points in the first quarter. Exeter now up to 12 in the opening seconds of the second as Monmouth grabs the lead. And now a chance to extend it, a battle for the board underneath, and good hands by Lay to keep it alive.
Late shot clock situations, it's going to get in number 2's hands. She wants to drive and create, but also create her own shot.
Bristol, jump shot from the free throw line, no good, and chance at an offensive rebound there for Towson. Good effort by Kimari Reynolds to dive and get it back for the Hawks.
It's going to be a good battle on the glass pretty much all night.
Well, Exeter feeling it after the 2 first quarter threes. That one a contested shot. And again, Jackson, you talk about the difference. Not a catch and shoot. That time maybe forcing it a little bit more.
The first 2 catch and shoot situations where you're pretty much wide open, one coming from up top, one in the corner. That's one where she has to think about. She's a few steps behind the arc. Those are the ones that she needs to get out of her repertoire. That's one where I'd like to just see her fake shot, rip and go to the basket because she's so good around the rim.
Farley feeding the post for Dubula. It's inside, gets the position, and gets fouled by Bristol. So Devine Dubula will go to the line for a pair of free throws.
I really don't think she gets the appreciation that she deserves for this Monmouth team because the work rate down low, it's every single offensive possession. She's rim running, and if it's not there, it's an immediate post-up. She's trying to seal. That time she gets great positioning, gets the defender right on her back hip, and the shot fake results in 2 free throws.
A really solid game for Monmouth last time out. 15 points, 5 boards coming off the bench at Stony Brook. Monmouth got the season sweep over the Seawolves 63-56. And Dubula hits both free throws here, 4 points early, and Monmouth has their largest lead tonight.
And Kevin, I think one of the most important things about her emergence this season is that it allows Bella Crandall to not have to play 30 minutes a night. For her to be able to get to sit on the bench, kind of watch, get her breath back about her, and be able to give them late minutes in the fourth quarter where she's not going to be tired is so important for this Hawks team.
Offensive rebound and then a foul on Dubula on the putback will send Kayla Morris to the line. And Jackson, you mentioned the rebound battle. Right now it's dead even at 10 apiece, but 2 teams that are pretty good rebounding teams. And you mentioned Cranbull, who now gets to check back in for Dubula, and she'll be a big part of that battle as well with Exeter in the front court for Monmouth.
Well, one of the keys for really good rebounding teams is it's not a one-person effort, and I think that's what both of these teams do so well. I mean, you look at Monmouth, we talk about Exeter, I mean, she averages 9 rebounds a game, but Farley, Cranbull, when Dubula's in the game, they all go after the glass along with the guards as well. You got to crash down low, and that's one thing that I think they haven't done a good job of early in this game is Towson's guards have been crashing. Monmouth needs help from their guards to attack the defensive glass.
Well, thought Towson might have been called for a kick ball there. Instead, Monmouth is going to get it back on the charge, so we'll wave away the basket. Kate Wetmore frustrated with the lack of whistle that set up the Towson possession, but you can see, good job stepping out by Exeter to draw the contact.
And her defensive prowess is off the charts, but we're used to seeing it with her length, her deflections, her steals. When someone like that is willing to take the body down low, it can be a real energy setter for this team. And you saw the entire Monmouth bench get on their feet. They love seeing that on the defensive end of the floor.
Rodriguez holding with the shot clock under 10. Now loses the handle, has got to go dive and try to get it back. Towson forces the turnover. Now trying to take advantage. Morris bringing it up into the front court. Bristol down low, count it, and one. Draws the foul on Cranbull. And a chance to tie up the game at the free throw line.
Really nice job by Bristol. You can see just a subtle shot fake right before she goes up, right there. And to get Cranbull to slightly jump in the air, that left hand comes down. A chance for a three-point play for Bristol. I was just about to say that. Post-ups against Monmouth is probably the worst kind of offense you could have just because of the rim protection that Cranbull and even Debula provides when she's in the game. But understanding the situation where you have Cranbull kind of dead to rights with that shot fake, you can go right back up with it and draw a foul. Really nice job. Bristol, veteran player in the conference. Started at Northeastern, finishing up here as a graduate in her home state. Rodriguez, Zaxanor in the corner. Flips it out, open three for Kimari Reynolds. It's good. Doesn't take a whole lot, but she makes him at a 43% clip and knocks it down there. And an excellent skip pass by Taisha Eggsler, not just to find the open man, but to put it right in the shooting pocket for Reynolds. If you throw that pass any lower, it's going to be a contested three. Instead, Reynolds has it ready to go, lines it up, and bottom. Bristol inside. Called for the little shuffle step as she tried to take on Cranbull. Let's look at one more time at the pass and the shot. Perfect. You can just see the pass. It goes right into the shooting pocket as we get another look. Reynolds doesn't have to drop the ball at all. It goes right up and through the cup. And it's such an underrated aspect. If you could put the pass where you want it to be, it can be all the difference in a shot going in and it being a difficult shot. Exenor, what a night. 14 points, 5 rebounds, and of course that beautiful assist on the three-pointer to Reynolds. She is doing it all right now as Monmouth has stretched the lead out to 5. And how about the variety, Kevin? We've seen a couple threes. You've seen her go downhill. That time in the post. Good movement this time by Towson, trying to answer with a three from the wing. No. Battle for the rebound is going to be last touched by the Tigers. Back to Monmouth. Towson doing a really nice job battling on the offensive glass and wasn't able to create a second possession that time, but it's kept them in the game here in this second quarter because Monmouth has been able to make some shots when they haven't been turning the basketball over. Monmouth once again to this high-low offense, but really nice job by Bristol denying Cranbull in the post. Shot clock winding down. Rodriguez has got to make something happen. Finds Cranbull at the shot clock buzzer. They got to look. It just won't drop. What a heady pass by Rodriguez. Hit Cranbull perfectly in stride late in the timer, but just unable to finish. It's a good defensive possession by Towson overall, though. Look into the post again. That matchup between Bristol and Cranbull has been fun to watch. This time Cranbull gets tied up. The arrow's going to give it back to Towson. So the Tigers crash the boards. They'll get another possession on the other side of this timeout. Monmouth has opened up a 5-point lead midway through the second quarter. 27-22, Hawks lead.
Greatness never settles. That's why the Monmouth University Hawks drive World Subaru, the #1 Subaru retailer at all of Central and South Jersey. Visit World Subaru today, proud sponsor of the Monmouth University Hawks, or online at worldsubaru.com. Go Hawks!
CAA champions are built by commitment, dedication, and courage. CAA champions live on the court, on the pitch, on the track, on the field, and in the pool. CAA champions live on Flow Sports.
Whoever said that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line never said anything about the quality of the ride. With Coach USA, you can charter a luxury motor coach for all of your special occasions. From your wedding day to corporate events, sightseeing, trips to the casino, sporting events, and concerts. Enjoy free amenities on board, things like Wi-Fi, restrooms, and movies. So to book your charter anywhere in the US or Canada, just contact our sales office today.
.447 to go in the second quarter. Monmouth leading 27-22 over Towson. Kevin Kopp, Jackson Howell with you. Let's look at where we stand in CAA play. Going into the final weekend, everyone's got 2 games left. And Jackson, I think it is so incredible when you look at Monmouth 5th, Towson 11th, and yet these 2 teams could end up tied in just about 48 hours time at 9-9. So there is a lot to shake out in the middle of the standings.
I mean, there's a sequence potentially where you have 5 or 6 teams at 9-9 in the standings, which would just be remarkable. But it really states the importance of this game for Monmouth, because in addition to the fact that they can finish anywhere between 5th and 11th, they don't have the tiebreaker over a lot of these teams in the middle. So if you get this one initially, that really prevents you falling any further than 8th or 9th in the standings, which is so important because obviously the top 10 get that first round bye.
Well, and one thing that is also so important for Monmouth is you look at the top 3 teams in the league, North Carolina A&T, Charleston, and Drexel. Monmouth has beaten each of those teams at least once this season, and so they're going to go in with some confidence that, hey, we can beat anyone in this league. And you look no further than 6 teams at 9-7 to 7-9 to say there's a whole lot of parity. This is going to be waved off on the transition basket by Rodriguez. They got her for a travel before it, but that continues to be an effective weapon for Monmouth, using their speed, trying to get out, especially with Rodriguez in the fast break.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think they got that one wrong, to be totally honest with you. It looked weird because she kind of got bumped on the way in by her own teammate, but I thought she was able to stay stable on that second foot before going up. I think the officials missed that one.
Corner 3, that's a great answer by Towson. Aminata Jakite. 5th-year JUCO transfer, just a 24% three-point shooter, so that's a big one for Towson to bring them back within 2.
And how about the Tigers from behind the arc? It's been a real difference maker in this one. It's kept them in the game as Exeter stays red hot from the field.
Cannot leave her that wide open the way she's shooting tonight, making a pair of 3s and now a long 2. And you talk about the shot chart for Exeter tonight. She has scored from everywhere on the floor. 16 points and a great answer. Towson gets the runner in the lane and back-to-back baskets for Jakite.
We talked about it before. Sometimes all it takes is one to go through the hoop to gain some confidence, and Jakite makes the 3, and this time with a shot fake and attacks the basket immediately.
Cramble working down low. The turnaround with the left hand, too strong. Quick rebound to Wakefield.
Give Towson credit. They've defended the paint against Cramble in particular really well in this one. That was a point of emphasis coming into this game after she went for 22 in the first meeting between these 2 sides. They have kept her out of the game early.
Jakite looking for 3 in a row, won't get it this time, and a rebound to Kimari Reynolds. Reynolds bringing it herself up the floor.
I think that's the first 18-foot heat check I've ever seen from Jakite. A couple dribbles into traffic, not a good shot.
Rodriguez in traffic as well, but that's much more within her repertoire. She's got 8 and the Hawks lead by 4.
Drop coverage is death against Damaris Rodriguez, and that's exactly what Towson did right there. When you give her space to operate in the mid-range, that's where she is most effective.
Johnson trying to get back to that elbow where she was excellent early. Done a much better job of limiting her in the second quarter. She hasn't scored.
And Towson's gone to that set a couple times, and Monmouth has adjusted with that top 2 stagger screen as Rodriguez draws the contact on the interior. But the first 2 times she was able to come off and get a smooth jumper. That time Rodriguez did a really good job of coming over the top of that second screen and forcing a contested look, making life difficult for Johnson. She's going to hit some tough ones. It's the reality of a player like that, but as long as you make the shot difficult, you can live with those defensive possessions.
Rodriguez going to the line for the first time tonight, where she's 79% this season and gets the first one to drop. One more and she can join Exeter in double figures for Monmouth. And she does. So those two combined have 26 of Monmouth's 33.
Sometimes you don't need balance. Sometimes your star's got to step up to the plate, and that's exactly what's happened in this one.
Looking down low, it's a bit of a tough break for Bristol as Cranbowl lost her footing. I think Bristol was expecting some contact that never came and gets called for the travel.
Yeah, I think Coach Harper wanted a call too, and that got really physical even before the catch from Bristol. It was a little flex screen to try to get a post up for Bristol. As you see it again, catches it in the post, and that's a tough call because you can easily get Cranbowl for a block for falling down. We've seen that a lot in the college game. Looks like a moving screen, going to be called unfairly, but it's a tough call because Cranbowl, I don't think, is trying to draw a charge. It looked like she kind of got tripped up, and you can call it incidental contact either way, which is probably what we got in a travel, but Monmouth definitely catching a break because that would have been 2 on Cranbowl, and DeBlue is already on the bench with 2.
Johnston draws the double team, open 3 for Wakefield, and that comes up empty. Saved, but into the hands of Cranbowl.
Tell you what, nice job by Chiquite because it looked like Monmouth was gonna have a really good opportunity in transition, but she did a really good job of denying the pass to Rodriguez, who wants to get the ball and go, and instead Towson was able to get back, get settled, and it results in a Monmouth turnover.
Yeah, crossed wires there between Farley and Cranbowl down low, and that's 8 Monmouth turnovers in the first half, higher number than Kate Wetmore would like to see. Chiquite feeling it here in the second quarter. That is her second 3 of the game. She averages 4.1 per game. She's got 8 here in the quarter.
That's another situation where it's a quick catch and shoot from the right wing. Those are shots in rhythm that she is capable of hitting, but sometimes you get rewarded for your defensive efforts like Chiquite did to create a turnover on the previous possession, and defense leading to offense.
Well, now Samaya Turner forces the turnover for Monmouth. Towson defense is being effective, and Chiquite wants another. She's got it. It's an 11-point quarter for Aminata Chiquite, and the Towson bench is fired up.
This time the heat check falls. We saw her try it after making 2 shots before. This time she drills a 3 off the dribble.
Season high for Chiquite is 13. Her career best is 17. She's got 11 points this quarter, and she has tied the game for Towson. Rodriguez trying to answer back iron, and they're going to get a break here as Towson can't bring in what would have been an uncontested rebound.
We get a look at the shots from Chiquite. This time, first time she settles behind a screen, and it's an easy catch and shoot, but the second time, she kind of just comes off that floppy action down low and drills it from behind the arc. 2 different looks. She is effective.
You can see she is playing with a ton of confidence. This touch out of bounds, though, gives Monmouth the chance to play for the last shot of the quarter if they want it. Cranbowl flipping to Rodriguez with the game clock down under 5. Rodriguez, the C's part, and she's able to get in for the easy 2 just before the buzzer, and Monmouth will take a lead into the break.
Talk about a fun first half, Kevin. I mean, both teams firing on all cylinders offensively, but it's the perimeter that's been the difference. 6 threes for Towson, 3 of 9 for Monmouth. Their stars have shown up. Should set up for a fun second half.
Monmouth by 2 at the break. The Hawks lead at 35-33. Halftime here in West Long Branch, New Jersey. Monmouth with a 2-point lead. The Hawks 35-33 over the Towson Tigers. Now, plenty of action going on as the last weekend of the regular season gets underway. Jackson, a look around here. Stony Brook by 2 over Hofstra in the 4th. That one getting late. Elsewhere, Delaware big over Drexel. You've got Charleston opening the early lead over Campbell, Elon, and Northeastern in a tight one as they approach halftime. North Carolina A&T among the league's leaders by 14 over William & Mary, and UNC Wilmington by 6 over Hampton. And everyone's got 2 games left and a lot still to be determined, both at the top of the league and, of course, as we said, in that big clump of teams in the middle.
Kev, I was trying to find one game to really point at and think this is going to have really implications. It's really all of them at this point. But what's interesting to me is that you look at Elon, Northeastern, you look at Hampton, UNC Wilmington. Those are teams, Northeastern, UNC Wilmington, they're not out of this thing, but they have really nowhere to go in the standings, yet they're putting up a really good fight against 2 teams in the middle of the pack in this league.
As we look at the standings and note that Towson is going to finish up at Delaware. Tough test, good rivalry game there to finish up the season. And Monmouth will be right back here on Saturday at 2 o'clock as they take on Elon. So again, a very meaningful game. You talk about these 2 teams separated by 2 games in the standings. Depending on how things shake out, you could look at Monmouth and Elon potentially as a battle for the 5th seed if it should hold up that way on Saturday.
Sure can, but I mean, it all comes down to 20 minutes right here. And that's the most important part about late in the season basketball is you want to look ahead to the tournament, you want to look ahead to your next game. It's so important to stay present and stay within the moment, and as college kids that's not always easy because all that matters is a championship and looking ahead. You got to win now and you got to win these next 20 minutes if you're Monmouth. Hawks looking to do so and keep themselves in the 5th seed in the CAA.
Yeah, and it has been a wildly entertaining first 20. We hope that the second half can live up to it as Monmouth has the lead 35-33 at the break in this pivotal late season game. We've got more coming from West Long Branch on the other side of this timeout. Halftime here at the Ocean First Bank Center on the campus of Monmouth University, and Monmouth holds a 35-33 lead. Hawks by 2 over the Tigers at the break, and we are pleased to welcome you in here, and we are now talking with Samara Rodriguez, sophomore here at Monmouth and the president of Monmouth University's Black Student Union. Samara, thanks so much for taking some time to join us.
Of course. Hi, hello. everybody.
Well, I want to give folks a chance to get to know a little bit more about you and what's led you to this position, but let's start with the Black Student Union at Monmouth, what the organization is and what it does here on campus.
So we are a space for Black students. We are diverse. We want everybody to be welcome, everyone to join, but it's a safe space for Black students, especially at a predominantly white institution. It gives us, like EOF kids, everybody just a chance to feel safe in their own skin and to find a place that's like home away from home, just to make the transition easier, especially for our freshmen.
Well, you are just a sophomore yourself and the president of this organization already. I assume you found your way into it as a freshman. What was the experience like for you of transitioning here to this college campus, and how did the Black Student Union help with that?
It was definitely a hard transition for me at first. I think anyone finding a brand new place to live, it's very difficult. But for me, the Black Student Union truly helped me. Originally, I was biology, secondary education, and through everything, I kind of realized that I wasn't bio, I was more art, and so I changed to art education. And if it wasn't for the people in the Black Student Union, I would have never thought to make that switch. I would have never been comfortable enough to kind of experiment in what different things for me. I also do photography, and that started because of the Black Student Union. So BSU has become my home, and the two girls that I room with, I met them through BSU, so it's become like my entire life, which I really love.
It's awesome to hear the ways in which it can have such a personal effect, and I know, part of the relationship between the Black Student Union and Monmouth Athletics, you got the chance to spend some time with the women's basketball team earlier in the season, and just wonder if you could kind of share what that experience was, again, getting to reach out and interact with another segment of campus that you might not get to otherwise, and kind of how you were able to build a relationship with Monmouth women's basketball.
Yeah, it was so much fun. I think a lot of the times clubs can get really like pushed into a box, and we kind of get scared to like reach out and branch out, and I think this was a really great opportunity for us to branch out as an organization. The coaches, all of the players, they were so welcoming. I had no idea what I was doing. When I told people, they were like, "You're captaining for the basketball team?" I was like, no, I'm not doing anything. I'm just standing there and waving. Because if you know me, you know I cannot play basketball to save my life, but I can watch it. So I had a great time. It was a lot of fun, and everyone was so welcoming. And I even got to catch up with some members who I know are part of BSU. And even the coaches were like, "Can we come to the meetings?" And I was like, "Absolutely, yes, you can." So it was a really fun experience. And then I got to watch a really great game. So.
Well, it's awesome to see, because a campus as small as this, the chance to build those types of relationships is really meaningful. And I'm wondering now, as you look forward, obviously there's still almost half of the school year left, though it's getting shorter and shorter as we get to the end of the spring. And obviously you have 2 more years. What do you see as the future, for yourself here on campus at Monmouth, but the future for the Black Student Union and some of the things that you hope to tackle in the time that you're here as an undergrad?
I really hope that we just become a more diverse club and a more diverse school, and that we just continue to build that diversity and build that home away from home and build that comfortable space for people on campus, and to really branch out to do things like the Black History Month games, and even to reach out to the Greek Senate and stuff like that, just so this school becomes more close-knit and so all the students feel like they have a safe space.
Well, Samara, thank you for everything that you have been able to do so far. Look forward to seeing what the next couple of years hold. And again, congratulations on everything. Thanks so much for being with us here and getting to share about the Black Student Union at Monmouth.
Thank you for having me.
All right, that is Samara Rodriguez. I'm Kevin Kopp. Let's take a break. We've got second half action next as Monmouth leads by 2 over Towson. Monmouth leading by 2 as we get set to start the second half. And Jackson, you look at the offenses and the shooting on display from both of these teams in the first half. We were expecting a little bit more of a defensive slugfest, but wow, both of these teams bringing it with some great shooting highlights through the first 2 quarters. Yeah, and it was a couple excellent individual efforts across the board. I mean, India Johnson had 10 for Towson in the first quarter alone. But for Monmouth, it was Taisha Exner who really took over the game early. She made a couple threes to get going. She ends up with 16 points in that first half, 6 rebounds to go with it as well. But Damaris Rodriguez, I thought, was really steady down the stretch. As you could see, the layup to end the half to put Monmouth ahead. She had 12 points on 5 of 10 shooting. Just a super entertaining opening 20 minutes. Halftime stats presented by Coach USA. You look at Monmouth shooting better than 50% and 52% from the field. But as you noted, Jackson, going into the break, the 3-point shooting is the difference. Towson going 6 for 12 from 3 after they were just 1 of 14 in the first meeting against Monmouth down in Towson this year at TU Arena. That's a huge switch. And that's why it's so hard to play a team twice in a season, because you know you're going to get differing results. The first meeting, Monmouth went under everything. They did a lot of guard-to-guard switches, but more importantly, they were willing to give up long-range shots, and particularly off the dribble. Well, you look at the first 20 minutes of this one, Towson makes 6 from behind the arc. They were effective in the mid-range as well. At some point, you got to drop the scouting report, and you got to adjust to what you're seeing on the floor, and I'm fascinated to see how Monmouth changes things up defensively against this Towson offense, and vice versa. Monmouth in white, Towson in black as the Hawks attack left to right, and unfortunately they'll turn it over in the opening seconds. Looking inside the low post for Farley, couldn't bring in the pass, and Towson gets it back with a chance to tie or take the lead. Oh man, I love the opening set too. They set up a stagger on the far side, but it's all a disguise to get Farley on a backdoor cut, disguising it with a dribble handoff, and Rodriguez and Farley just couldn't connect on the pass. Inside, good tough take. Cranbull couldn't come down with the miss. The putback is good. And Hadi Lay has her first 2 points of the game. Interesting for a player that averages double figures. There's a great look to Cranbull. Count it, and 1 from the low block. And how good has Taisha Exner been today? We've seen it in a variety of different ways scoring, but this is just so disciplined. She drives by her defender. She knows the help is coming, but it starts with a great shot fake because she's made 2 threes already, and dumps it off to Cranbull, who will have a chance for the 3-point play. And then she gets the free throw to drop. Those are Cranbull's first 3 points after she put up 22, a career best in the first meeting between these 2 teams. It's amazing. You have 2 players who have impacted the game so little, yet impact the game in such a big way for both of these teams that really didn't contribute much in the first half, in Lay and Cranbull, but going right to them on these opening 2 possessions. And Cranbull gets fouled here. She's going to get herself back to the line. Look at some of the big-time performances in the first half. Exenor, who we mentioned, 16 up to 16, 7, and 2. What a line for Exeter. You have Rodriguez, who had 12 in the first half, and then you had 2 Towson players go for 10 or more in a quarter. Johnson did it in the first quarter, and then Jakite comes off the bench and couldn't miss in the second quarter. 11 points, including 3 of 3 from 3-point range. What a spark she brought on both ends of the floor, too. Her activity defensively, her energy, pressuring the ball in the backcourt, and then the ability to just make some tough shots here on the other end. So important to keep Towson in the game in that second quarter when it looked like things were maybe going to get away. Could Cranbull be the next of those players, or maybe Hadi Lay, who's got 4 points for Towson this quarter? Cranbull's got 5 in just over a minute. Clear emphasis early on to get it to the big fellas. Exenor, why not? Great elbow jumper, it's good. She picks up right where she left off. And I think the design of that was to get Exenor on a drive. They set up that horns action. They look for the initial back door, but if it's not there, it's supposed to be a rip through to the goal. But with the way Exenor is shooting the basketball today, you can hardly blame her for putting it right up. They had a foul inside here, and that's going to send Lay back to the line. Hadi Lay, the 6'2 freshman out of Senegal, averaging 10 points and 7 rebounds per game. She had a double-double last time out against Campbell, her 5th of the season, and was not able to do a whole lot in the first half, but here she is getting to the line. That one's good. She's got 5 points in the first minute 50 of half number 2.
It was quite a surprise not to see her in the starting lineup, but with this Towson team, it doesn't really matter too much who starts. It's more about who finishes, because they will go 10 deep into the bench. We've already seen a different starting lineup in the second half than we saw from the beginning of the game, and now it looks like a little 2-3 zone from Towson. We saw them switch it up a lot in the first meeting. Haven't really seen too much of disparity here tonight, but I bet we'll see a lot of it in the second half.
Reynolds coming off the screen. Yeah, you look at the bench points and talk about the depth for Towson. They are plus 17 off the bench tonight. Rodriguez, a kick out. Farley, the open 3, no good. And Debula tried to tip it to herself, and she did. Nearly turned it over on the pass. Farley's able to help get it out to Rodriguez. The second chance 3, no. Third chance for Exenor, and almost surprised to see her miss, especially from that range. Towson will come away with it after struggling to get the rebound, helped out on the foul there against Exenor.
It's weird. Sometimes when you're hot, it's the easiest ones that you end up missing, and on that time, Exenor did a great job of grabbing the missed 3 from Rodriguez, but just did everything but the finish.
Extra pass out to Turner, around and out from 3, an offensive board for Chiquite, putting it right back up, and she is just in one of those zones right now. She has matched her season high with 13 points.
She's got eyes for the goal right now. The minute she grabbed that offensive rebound, as Reynolds will go to the line for 2, it was an immediate thought to shoot the basketball, and that's one of the really difficult times about playing in the zone defensively. You can see her, it's a quick turn and an 18-footer, and it falls through. But when you play zone, the hardest thing to do defensively is rebound, because you're not attached to a man. It's hard to box out and find your own, and Chiquite did a great job to swoop in and add the extra 2 for Towson.
Reynolds good at the line, and this is one area where Monmouth has excelled in a tight game. They remain perfect at the free throw line tonight. That's 11 for 11. Impressive performance for a team that shoots at just 68% at the free throw line.
And they've had a variety of different players. Debula's made 2. Crambull has connected from the line.
High arcing 3 around and out. I don't think you mind Chiquite taking that shot the way she is connected right now. Exenor on the other end, good job, gets her defender off her feet, easy lay-in, and she's got 20.
She's unguardable when she goes to the basket like that, and did a great job of setting her feet at the block, going up with the shot fake, get your defender in the air, and then it's an easy finish with her length over the top.
Kayla Morris, long 2, no good, and Chiquite there on the loose ball putback comes up short.
I think Exenor got a piece of it as well.
Rodriguez running, Debula cleans it up. Monmouth has been tough to stop in transition, and Laura Harper wants a timeout as the Hawks open up their largest lead of the night, 48-41. Monmouth out to a 7-point lead. Rodriguez to Debula, timeout Towson.
Hawks on a 6-0 run going to the break, and sometimes it's the simple things. The shot fake creating offense for Monmouth. You see it with Exeter there, and then Tabula just moments later in transition off a great feed from Damaris Rodriguez. Both times sending Turner flying through the baseline to give Monmouth a 7-point lead. What a start offensively for the Hawks here in the second half.
Well, and when Monmouth has been able to get out in the fast break, they have been unstoppable tonight. 10-0 advantage in fast break points for Monmouth. They have forced a Towson timeout early in the third quarter. Laura Harper trying to get this one back right now on the road. Towson scored the first 7 of the game. Right now it's Monmouth by 7, and out of the timeout, Bristol misses the left-handed shot at close range. Rodriguez wanting to run again, and it's 2 more in fast break for Monmouth. Rodriguez up to 14, and Monmouth has a 9-point lead.
How about the work of Devine DeBoule on the other end, though? Stay stable defensively in the post, as this one's going to be a turnover on Towson, but she immediately gets it out quick to Rodriguez, and she does the rest of the work. And how about the pretty finish? Up and under, right-hand scoop. We've seen her finish in a variety of different ways around the rim today, and we talked about it earlier. Such an area of improvement for her, adjusting to the physicality around the rim at the Division I level. She has been spectacular in that field today.
Fast break points for Monmouth. That has been a huge part of the advantage right now, as the Hawks lead by 9. Farley, nothing there in the corner. We'll give it back out to Rodriguez. Off the screen, Rodriguez open 3, no good, and that's a gift for Monmouth right there, as Lay can't pull down the uncontested rebound, and it'll be a fresh 20 on the shot clock for the Hawks.
And that's a shot that Towson's willing to give up in this 2-3 zone. Off the dribble 3 from Rodriguez, who doesn't shoot it great from behind the arc, but man, you had it right. What a gift for the Hawks as Lay just drops it out of bounds.
Reynolds driving the left side of the lane and gets that one to drop. Kimani Reynolds up to 7 points, and the Hawks have a double-digit lead.
Such great patience, had a little hesitation around the free throw line after the screen and got to her spot with an easy finish.
Johnston, those mid-range jumpers were going early. She has not scored since the first quarter. Here's Exenor, the drive, looking for Tabula, would have been a pretty dish.
It's a really good thought, and Exenor is so good in transition, but a tough turnover.
Monmouth has opened up a game-high 11-point lead, 52-41 Hawks with 4:51 to go in the third.
Hey, what's up, roomie?
Danny DeVito? Are you my freshman roommate?
And that doesn't matter. This is a Jersey Mike's commercial where the subs matter most.
You took both bunks.
I got a lot of stuff. Where the subs matter most. It's a Jersey Mike's thing.
5 postseason teams in 2023-24. Competition top to bottom, night in and night out. The energy, the heart, the hustle. This is CAA Hoops.
Greatness never settles. That's why the Monmouth University Hawks drive World Subaru, the #1 Subaru retailer at all of Central and South Jersey. Visit World Subaru today, proud sponsor of the Monmouth University Hawks, or online at worldsubaru.com. Go Hawks!
Does our mascot look like Danny DeVito to you?
That doesn't matter. This is a commercial for Jersey Mike's, where the subs matter most. Yeah! Ooh. Focus on the subs. Where the subs matter most. It's a Jersey Mike's thing.
the third quarter here at the Ocean First Bank Center. Monmouth has stretched the lead all the way to 11, 52-41 Hawks. And let's go back to what the Monmouth defense has forced this Towson offense into. Jackson, it looked as if in the first half the script might change a little bit from what these teams did in the first matchup, which was heavily defensively oriented. But you look at the numbers and what Monmouth has done and how it stacks up.
Well, we saw in the first meeting, season low 6 turnovers for Towson. They've already had 8 tonight, but in terms of what Monmouth is looking to force defensively, they've still forced 18 mid-range jump shots, and even though they were falling early, particularly for India Johnston, it has been a struggle here in the second half. And sometimes the turnovers are problematic, but bad shots can also be turnovers, and we've seen Monmouth be able to create off some bad shots here in the third quarter.
Well, and this time they force a turnover that they're going to give it right back. We saw Monmouth go to the full court press out of the timeout. But, you know, Jackson, I think you made an interesting point early, which was you're going to be content to stick to the game plan, even when Towson was hitting those shots early and said, all right, let's see how it goes throughout the night. And Towson has regressed to the mean a little bit in terms of that mid-range jump shot. And I think that defensive strategy by Monmouth has paid off.
And I think one of the other things is that the quality of looks has been a lot different here in the second half as well. We saw in that first half that Johnston was able to get some easy uncontested looks off the dribble and some catch and shoot looks for her teammates, as that's another Towson turnover, just killing them here in the second half. But a lot of the looks have been contested, whether it was late in the second quarter. Here in the third quarter, it's been a lot of looks from players you don't want taking mid-range jump shots. The only one that's really fallen was from Jakite, and she's on the bench right now.
Monmouth on a 10-0 run to stretch this lead out to 11. Farley drives into traffic, draws the double team. Rodriguez can't convert on the runner, and a rebound underneath to Jenkins.
Still good offense, though, from Monmouth against the zone. They're not settling for threes. They are attacking right into the heart of the zone. And when you get threes against a zone, they want to be attacking to the middle and kicking out for open shots.
Again, 16, 18-foot jump shot by Jenkins, who averages 2.3 per game. That's a shot Monmouth is content to give up. Exenor looking inside to Dabula. She's taking on Bristol, spins, gets free, and connects.
I just love the work she's putting in early. She reminds me of Umar Balo on the men's side, because what he does so well is he sprints down the floor and it's an immediate post-up. He works so hard to get his minutes in and his post-ups early. And even though she only plays 20 minutes, it is a true 20 minutes of effort out there on the floor from Dabula. She's finally rewarded with a post touch, and she makes Monmouth pay.
Staten helped out there on a foul call, but shots have not been easy to come by for Towson in the midcourt. And let's look on the other side now. This work by Dabula.
She was so patient on the interior. Looked like she was kind of dead to rights along the baseline, and it was good initial defense by Bristol, but Dabula just uses her physicality and keeps those elbows wide to spin back to her left for the easy two.
Staten connects on the first free throw. That's her first point tonight. She's a regular contributor, averages 11 points per game, second highest mark on this Towson team. So that the Hawks have kept her out of the box score is a big win. She had 13 in the first meeting between these two in a game where points were hard to come by.
The quality of looks on either end is so much different right now. Monmouth's doing a great job of getting into the teeth of the defense. And even when they take perimeter shots, they've been able to crash the offensive glass.
Great backdoor cut, and just couldn't finish there from Jay Haynes. It's going to stay here with Monmouth. Shot clock back at 20 as the Hawks will get set to inbound.
But still, you're happy with that look if you're Monmouth offensively. Exeter in the post, really nice cut to find Haynes, just can't finish on the layup.
Rodriguez driving baseline, a little no look out to Haynes, can't get the jumper to go. Now, two good looks just didn't turn into points on that trip for Monmouth.
Really unselfish basketball that time by Exeter and Rodriguez. Rodriguez attacking baseline, did a really nice job to find Haynes, and that's one of those mid-range jumpers you like because it's a catch and shoot from the elbow.
Corner three, no good. Exenor, another rebound. She adds to what has been a spectacular night. 20 points, 12 boards. Rodriguez, a little stop and go, comes up short.
That's when I want to see her kick out. Reynolds is wide open for a left wing three where she is a really good catch and shoot shooter.
2 minutes in the quarter, 2 minutes.
Bristol going to work down low. Well defended by Dabula, off the mark, and Monmouth gets it back up into the front court in a hurry.
Look at the work early from Dabula.
To give it back out, Haynes going to go right back to her, up with the left hand, count it, and one.
I have such great admiration for this player right now, Davine Dabula. You see it in the first 5 seconds of the shot clock. She is set up in the post, and she is putting pressure on the defense. And even though it wasn't there the first time, quick pass out, re-get in the post, reward the big fella. And Dabula makes Towson pay this time, and a chance for a three-point play. She has put in so much work down low to improve her body, to improve herself, to improve her conditioning. It is a joy to watch her play basketball right now.
Dabula into double figures, 4 out of the last 5 games, 6 out of the last 9. She has come on strong in the closing stretch of this season, knocks down the free throw, and Monmouth leads 57-43. Johnson dumps it off. Staten, nothing dropping right now for Towson. Can't pull down the rebound. It'll go back to Monmouth.
I mean, you talk about the quality of the looks again. That's a 19 to 20-foot jump shot on the right wing from someone who's not a great mid-range shooter. And you look at Towson, they're 0 for their last 9. They're almost 6 minutes without a field goal.
An incredible stretch here by Monmouth defensively, and Dabula fired up, another and one inside. She's got 13, a chance to make it 14 at the line.
I want to go out there and just give her a chest bump with how hard she's playing right now. This is such great offense against this zone. Get it to the high post, high-low seal to Dabula, and another great shot fake underneath to draw the contact. She's just playing so hard right now, and she's being rewarded for her efforts on both ends of the floor.
Oh, and Monmouth has really started to break Towson down in the interior. Cranball had those 5 early points this quarter, and now Dabula's got 10 of her own. It's another 10-point quarter. We've seen different players step up and have their moments, and Dabula's having hers right now.
Starts on the defensive end of the floor, though.
There's a 3 from Jenkins, and boy, did Towson need that to snap an 0 for 9 stretch from the field. They get it back within 14 in the final minute of the third.
They're going to make some eventually. It's the reality of basketball. But again, that's a shot you're going to live with. Jenkins from the perimeter.
That's just her 5th made 3 all season. Exenor blocked inside, one of the rare times that Towson has been able to get to her and prevent the shot attempt. Monmouth will have the inbound with about a 10-second differential here between shot and game clock late in the third.
I'll never fault Exeter for going to the basket, but man, Damaris Rodriguez was naked in the corner for a wide open 3. That's when I'd like to see Exeter just kick it out.
Corner 3 for Exenor. She's got another and a career-high 23 points.
But how about the extra pass? Dabula kicks it out. One more from Haynes. An offensive clinic from the Hawks here in West Long Branch.
Towson at the buzzer, no good from Johnston. All Monmouth in the third. They outscored Towson 28-13. And Taisha Exenor leading the way for the Hawks. A new career best 23 points. Monmouth rolling into the fourth. Welcome back. Hawks fans, Monmouth University Giving Days will take place later this month on March 25th and 26th. You can support your favorite team today by signing up as a team ambassador to help spread the word. All funds raised go directly to the team of your choice. For more information, check out monmouthhawks.com/givingday. You can also support the great folks working hard in the control room here, producing tonight's broadcast for the Monmouth Digital Network, Flow College, NBC Sports Philadelphia, wherever you're joining us tonight. We have seen a good one in Jackson. Offensive clinic for Monmouth in that third quarter. 28 points in the quarter. They have stretched the lead out to 63-46 as we begin the fourth.
There was a point of emphasis to get the ball inside. It started with Cramble. It was followed up by DeBoer, and there was an unrelenting effort to get the ball into the paint. And the Hawks took advantage early, and Towson now returning the favor finally here at the start of the fourth quarter. It's something they're going to have to do a much better job. But Monmouth's defense did such an excellent job of forcing Towson into a lot of mid-range jump shots, a lot of 18-footers, a lot of contested threes. They got to get the ball in the paint, and they got to get some easy ones.
Foul here is on DeBoer, and it will send Morris to the line. No good on the first. Second is good for Morris. And Towson down 16. Well, they had the reverse situation in their last home game against Campbell, where the Fighting Camels closed the game on a 14-1 run. Towson squandered a 12-point fourth quarter lead. Now they're going to try to turn the tables here on Monmouth. Skip pass out to Exenor, thought about it instead, drives in, gets the easier shot. She adds to what has been a career night. She's got 25 points, 13 rebounds, and Laura Harper not happy over on the Towson bench. She's going to take a timeout. We're going to take a timeout as well. Early fourth quarter, Monmouth 65, Towson 47.
A Jersey Mike's sub bowl is any sub in a bowl without the bread. And this is not my real family.
What did you do with our uncle?
Oh, don't worry about that. Can I crash here tonight? Your favorite sub, hot or cold in a bowl. It's a Jersey Mike's thing.
I'm the director of the Cancer Center, designated by the National Cancer Institute.
We are here to make an important distinction.
There are cancer centers.
And there are NCI-designated cancer centers.
Recognized for world-class research
and positive impact on their communities.
No single person is going to cure cancer.
It'll take a team effort.
That's what an NCI-designated cancer center is all about. In New Jersey, there's only one, Rutgers Cancer Institute in New Jersey, together with RWJ Barnabas Health.
Greatness never settles. That's why the Monmouth University Hawks drive World Subaru, the #1 Subaru retailer at all of Central and South Jersey. Visit World Subaru today, proud sponsor of the Monmouth University Hawks, or online at worldsubaru.com. Go Hawks!
Laura Harper took a timeout just 42 seconds, into the half. And the reason why is this. You have Taisha Exener in the corner. She is not a great three-point shooter. And don't get me wrong, she's 3 of 4 from behind the arc today, but You cannot let a player whose strength is going to the rim, particularly against a zone, to drive through two players without any physical contact and without any duress whatsoever. Exeter made that look way too easy. Harper was pissed about it, and it was an immediate timeout. She was trying to call timeout before the ball even went through the basket.
Exeter, 25 points, 13 rebounds, and 3 assists. She has put her mark on this game every which way. Offensive rebound out of the timeout, and a second chance here on the possession for Towson. Johnston looking inside to Staten. Staten trying to find some space. Shot clock winding down, and Towson steals one right there. Morris, good job to make herself available.
It's been a struggle in the second half offensively for Towson, but when they've had success, it's been on the offensive glass. They've been able to create a couple second chance opportunities, that time coming off the initial miss by Johnson, who, by the way, still has not scored since that 10-point first quarter, but did a nice job late in the shot clock, being patient, and eventually it was Morris who got free.
Exeter gets it at the right elbow, looking to drive, nothing there. She'll give it off to Rodriguez, who comes down, misses just a bit strong. Morris the board, and Towson a chance to string a couple baskets together here out of the early timeout. Johnston airmails that one, and a good job on flying into the seats to save that ball on this side of the floor for Towson.
It's going to be another second chance opportunity for Towson as Johnston just continuing to struggle from the field. And
it was Samaya Turner that went over there, I believe, dove into the first row of seats to try to keep that ball alive.
Looks like the right leg is what's shaken up. Don't want to speculate too much, but it can always be dangerous going into the stands. You never really know where you're landing.
Laura Harper out to take a look at the junior out of Rockaway, New Jersey. Meanwhile, you have Monmouth meeting over with Kate Wetmore. And folks, a reminder that coming up next week, beginning Wednesday, March 12th, at the Care First Arena in Washington, D.C., we'll have the 2025 Credit Union 1 CAA Women's Basketball Championship. You can get your tickets now at caasports.com/WBB, and should be a great one, Jackson. You look at a Monmouth team right now who sits at 5th. They can secure the 5th spot with wins at home in this final weekend, and the talent at the top of this league, the depth between 5 and 11, all separated by 2 games. It should be a lot of fun in D.C. next week.
Oh, I'm excited for that one. I'm heading down actually on Saturday morning for the men's side too. Should be a really interesting tournament for both the men and the women for Monmouth, both having really strong seasons and in particular strong finishes to the year.
Three on the way, no good for Morris, and the long rebound out to Debula.
Again, that's a shot Monmouth is more than willing to see go up. They would prefer that shot to go up every single possession, and there's been a lot of those here in the second half.
Rodriguez driving, and Morris gets back into position to smack that one out of bounds.
That one had some disrespect behind it. The authority of that block. Again, like the intentions from Rodriguez, you could see it again. She's able to get by that hard hedge, and Morris just has about a foot on her and was able to swat it away.
Is looking inside, and a good job by Morris after the block. Now pokes away that entry pass and forces the turnover, gets it back for Towson.
I like the set. It was a little screen-to-screener action into a post-up for Debula.
And just a miscommunication on the other end. Staten cut back. Morris passed it to where she wasn't, and that is the 11th Towson turnover of the game.
Kev, one thing that stood out for me, at least from a Monmouth perspective, is they haven't made so many mistakes today, but it feels like every time there's been one, someone has stepped up and made a play on the other end to get a stop as Exeter continues her career night. But for example, Haynes throws a bad pass into the post over the top. She does a really good job on the other end denying the pass and forcing an ill-advised bouncer out of bounds for a turnover.
I think you're absolutely right, and good move there by Hadi Lay. 16-point Monmouth lead. Hawks back into the front court. Season high for Monmouth is 77 points. That was in an overtime loss against UNC Wilmington as Debula continues her hot second half. Their season high in a regulation game was 75, and they are ticking very close to that number with just over 6 minutes to play.
And it's been all the work that's being done in the paint, whether it's been Exner off the bounce, Debula in the post, Rodriguez in her ball screen situations. They are getting the ball into the interior, and they are doing it with ease.
Exner, another rebound. How about this line? She's got 27 points and 15 boards. Rodriguez blocked at the elbow, and they've done a better job on Rodriguez down the stretch.
And I'll tell you the most impressive part to me about Exner. You could talk about the points and the rebounds. 0 turnovers for Taisha Exner. That's been an area of struggle this year where she's been a little sloppy with the basketball at times. Today, to have 3 assists, 0 turnovers, and to have the impact that she's had on the game with the ball in her hands, so impressive, and it has been a point of emphasis for Kate Wetmore. You look at the first 6 games of the year, the turnovers were a nightmare for this group. They have really steadied the ship in that regard, and for Exner to be doing what she's doing without giving away the ball is so impressive.
Well, you mentioned it early on, Jackson. Good look inside to Debula, had the position on Morris and gets fouled, goes to the line. You know, for this team to do what they've done with a first-year head coach after starting 0-6, I mean, that is really, you are dealt a tough hand. And to respond to that 6-game losing streak to begin the year with a 5-game winning streak that set them up in conference play, and now to be sitting basically 1 game and 1 quarter out of 5th place in the CAA is a remarkable job by Kate Wetmore in her first season here in West Long Branch.
It's a huge testament to their staff.
Oaks McClune's family of restaurants features 11 premier locations with 10 across the Jersey Shore. All locations are open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. Visit mclunes.com for all information. And Debula splits her free throws, and the Monmouth lead is 19.
How about that? That was a first missed free throw of the night for Monmouth as well.
Yeah, 14 for 14 until that point. That'll help them as you get ready for postseason play.
Foul number 2, Taisha Exner, her 3rd personal, 2nd team foul.
Exner picks up her 3rd foul, and that's about the only thing that can slow her down right now.
Bristol with 2 shots.
Deja Bristol to the line for a pair of free throws here.
You know, it says a lot about the trust of Kate Wetmore with her players as the season's going along, that you can put Damaris Rodriguez on the bench with 5 minutes to go in what's essentially, it's not a must-win game, but it feels like a must-win game this late in the season. The trust she has in her players and her ball handlers on the floor, even with an 18-point lead, I think you got to give a ton of credit to the way that her entire staff, and her entire team has handled the adversity that they've faced this season.
She'll take a timeout as Monmouth gets it across midcourt. 30-second timeout. We'll keep it here with 4:46 to go in the 4th quarter. Monmouth leading by 18, and just wanting to make sure that you get across the finish line and get ready for Elon coming in here on Saturday with a game that could seal 5th place in the CAA for Monmouth. And speaking of Elon, they are tied in the 4th quarter right now at Northeastern. They'll come down from Boston to West Long Branch on Saturday. We'll have that game for you at 2 p.m. A couple games have gone final. Hofstra 73-70 over Stony Brook and Hempstead, and Delaware thumping over Drexel 82-59. Towson's got to finish up the year at Delaware on Saturday, and the Blue Hens playing some good basketball right now.
Yeah, how about that result? That's easily the biggest result of the night for the Blue Hens, and that gets them to 9-8 in conference play and adds additional emphasis to the game tonight for Monmouth.
And that was the Drexel team that came in a tie for 2nd. They had conference championship aspirations still. They were 1 game out of 1st, and you put a 25-point win on the 3rd place team in the conference. That's pretty impressive.
That was an impressive block by Lay as well.
Monmouth with the response after the block out of bounds. Jay Haynes knocks down a 3 of her own. Monmouth by 21.
I think one of the most underrated aspects of Kate Wetmore is, looks like it's going to be an offensive foul. Their quick hitters underneath the basket is so simplistic, but it's so effective. Right there, we just see a simple screen, the screener for Haynes. And how about Exeter's second charge of the day? Play just lowers the shoulder. Not sure that Exeter was necessarily in legal guarding position, but the fact that you can lower your shoulder and extend the elbow definitely got the call.
Reynolds breaks the press easily, and Monmouth doesn't need to be in any kind of rush here. In control, up 21, under 4 to go. Exeter again, this time the reverse layup. She's got it all going tonight. 29 points for Taisha Exeter.
What a performance. It all started with the first 3 of the game to me, because you make that one, it opens up the whole floor, because now you have to immediately contest the jump shot. And even with some of the contests tonight, she's still 3 of 4 from behind the arc. She's got the 3 assists. She's got the 29 points. She's got no turnovers.
It's been incredibly efficient. 29 points on 17 shots. You talk about making those threes, and then you're right, that just sets up the easy stuff and makes it even easier for her. And she has just done it all. Wants to drive again, spins back to her left, puts it up with the right hand, can't get it to drop.
That sideline was ready to explode if that went in.
Time Exeter affecting the shot inside. Bristol runs down the loose ball. This is a good mid-range shot by Staten.
Anisha Staten with the basket.
Again, tough mid-range shots. It's been the story of the day for me defensively for Monmouth as Reynolds is fouled.
Good job by Reynolds, who broke the press and just never stopped. She had a clear lane all the way to the basket, drew some contact, and she'll get herself to the line for 2, where Monmouth has been excellent tonight. Exeter will get a well-deserved rest here, and if that is the end of her night, 29 points, 15 rebounds, and 3 assists. One of the best individual performances by any CAA player this season.
The efficiency, the aggressiveness. Also got to factor in the defense as well that she has played. I mean, she's made life difficult, whether she's been playing with her back to the basket in the post as Cranbowl cleans that one up. Her length on the perimeter. She has done all the little things tonight that lead to winning basketball. And listen, you look at the stat line, it's amazing, but I think that's what Kate Wetmore is going to be most proud of when watching back the tape of this game. It felt like every single play that she needed to make, whether it be offense, defense, in transition, she has made it tonight.
Oh, and to a point you made earlier, Jackson, Monmouth has answered just about every mistake with a good play, it feels like, and you get just the second missed free throw of the game from Kimari Reynolds, and then it turns into an offensive rebound and 2 points instead of 1 for Belle Cranbowl. It's been that kind of night. Monmouth has a new season high, 78 points. We've still got 2 minutes to play as they try to break 80 for the first time this season.
In addition to the offensive outbursts, I mean, they've held Towson to just 23 points here in the second half. Got to be impressed, especially with the pace that this game has been played at. Defensively in the second half, it has been a night and day effort from this Monmouth team.
Timeout here for Monmouth. They're going to get a sub into the game. Isabella Murray, 5'9" sophomore out of Greenbrook, New Jersey, will get to enter here for Monmouth with 2:08 to go in the fourth. Folks, Surf Taco has 9 great locations across New Jersey. Visit surftaco.com for more information and to place an order today. 2:08 to go with Monmouth leading 78-56. Towson started the game on a 7-0 run. Monmouth answered it early. 1-point game at the quarter break, and they broke it open in the second and third. Also into the game, Rebecca Milone. freshman out of Ontario. Corner 3, no good. And Towson will bring it up into the front court under 2 minutes to go. Chiquite, quick 3 on the way, no, and a long rebound pulled down by Isabella Murray.
That's been one of the big surprises, I think, for Towson, is Chiquite was so good in that first half, particularly the second quarter. Feels like we haven't even really heard her much on the floor here in the second half.
Yeah, Johnston, 10 points in the first quarter, didn't score again. Chiquite had 11 points in the second quarter as they get it into Cranbowl. She had 11 points in the second quarter and only 15 for the game. So players had hot stretches, but not able to do it long enough. The Monmouth defense did a nice job of adjusting.
Certainly did, and offensively, that's kind of been the story of the night, that last possession. Getting the ball into the paint, 42-16 in terms of paint points tonight so far. And on the defensive end, anytime Towson's been in there, Monmouth's rim protection has been a problem.
A lot you can point to and be happy. This one is going to be a charge against Milone. In addition to Murray and Milone, Kellen Pereira has entered the game as well. Folks, a look at what is coming up. We'll have an early start, 10 a.m. Wake up with Monmouth men's lacrosse. They're taking on VMI right here on Flow Sports. And then the second half of that doubleheader will be Saturday at 2 p.m. Also for you on SNY as Elon takes on Monmouth in the regular season finale here at the Ocean First Bank Center.
And head coach Brian Fisher and his staff from the lacrosse side give that group a lot of credit for the way they've responded. 3 straight wins for the first time in a few years. A dominating effort yesterday over NJIT, excuse me. Exciting time around Hawksland right now.
This is always that winter-spring crossover is as busy as it gets, but when you're winning games, it's as fun as it gets as well. And it's been a nice time here in West Long Branch. Pereira driving baseline. Give it back out to Murray here. Monmouth, they'll have to put up one more shot with the 12-second differential between shot and game clock. Cranbowl, left-handed turnaround. How about Cranbowl? All 11 of her points in the second half. She closed strong, and Monmouth extends what has been their best offensive performance of the season. They cracked the 80-point threshold for the first time under Kate Wetmore, and the final seconds will tick off of a big CAA win as Monmouth keeps their hopes alive for 5th place in the conference behind a dominant effort, 82-56 over Towson.
Got to be impressed with this effort in the second half. Offensively, they got the ball into the paint. Defensively, they stick with their principles. They forced Towson to a lot of tough shots. As impressive an effort and as impressive a win as they've had all season long.
Absolutely, peaking at the right time. Monmouth gets to 15-13 this season. They are now 10-7 in the Coastal Athletic Association. Towson falls to 9-19 overall. They are 7-10, and Monmouth trying to break out of that crowded stretch of teams. Entering tonight, Monmouth, Elon, Delaware, William and Mary, UNC Wilmington, Hofstra, Towson, and Stony Brook, all within 2 games, but Monmouth in the driver's seat, and they now get to 10 wins on the conference season. As we look at our game summary, final stats presented by Coach USA, Monmouth shoots an impressive 53% from the field tonight. They hold Towson to just 34% shooting after the Tigers went 6 for 12 in the first half from 3, just 1 of 7 in the second half. And how about Monmouth at the line? It wasn't something that really played an overall factor in the finish tonight, with Monmouth winning by such a lopsided margin, but 15 of 17 for a team that has had their share of struggles at the free throw line this season. They came in shooting just 68%. They finished 88% from the line tonight, +7 in rebound margin, and maybe the only negative thing that you could point to for the Hawks tonight, 13 turnovers, higher number than they'd like to see, but at least they forced 13 from Towson. They kept the ledger even in that margin, and it all adds up to a pretty dominant 82-56 win for a game that was separated by just 2 points at halftime. Monmouth runs away with it in the second half, and these standings are now up to date, with Monmouth improving to 10-7. They become the 5th team in the league to 10 conference wins, and now they're in the driver's seat. They're going to get Elon here on Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock p.m., and Monmouth, with the win or the right losses elsewhere in the conference, can solidify that number 5 seed. They would open the conference tournament against the 12 seed, and then on to Campbell, in all likelihood, as the number 4 seed, the Fighting Camels, in that quarterfinal matchup. So a lot of basketball left to be played, but this was an important win tonight for Monmouth to get a little bit of distance from that pack of teams between 5 and 11 in the conference. Monmouth 2 games above 500 overall, 10-7 now in CAA play. So an impressive win tonight as they outscore Towson by 26. They get the season sweep over the Tigers after beating them by 2 on the road earlier this year. We're going to go down to Jackson Heil now, who's standing by with Taisha Exenor.
Thanks, Kevin. Well, we're joined by the player of the game. It was no secret who it was going to be today. Taisha Exenor, 29 points, 15 rebounds, 3 assists, 0 turnovers. I was just asking before if you could ever remember a game like that, but what was going right for you tonight?
I think just like attacking, like my coaches always harp on me attacking the basket, like nobody could stop me, so I just like kept that mindset and attacking, and everything was going in, so it was in my favor.
You mentioned the attacking and the aggressiveness. You guys had 44 points in the paint, including 30 in the second half. Was there a concerted effort, particularly in those final 20 minutes, to get the ball and decide whether it was Devine, whether it was you, whether it was Bell? Was there an extra effort to get the ball to the interior in that second half?
I think we just like to pass it to the hot hand, like every single time like somebody just scored, like we try and go to them again, so like it really depends. And like we were all hot in the paint, so like anybody could have got it.
9 seniors going to get honored on senior day this weekend. You got a first-year head coach in Kate Wetmore. What's the emotions, and how do you prepare for a game like that where obviously emotions are going to be really high, but it's still going to be such an important game for you guys?
Yeah. I think we're just going to have to like embrace it. Like a lot of people are going to be sad. It's going to be like their last game of their career. Some people, like, I don't know, like are going to continue after on, and it's just going to be like a very emotional game, but we can't let our emotions overtake the outcome that we want for the game.
Well, Taisha, it's a career performance tonight. Congratulations on a great effort, and enjoy this one.
Thank you.
So that was Taisha Exenor following a career performance, and now we're joined by the head coach of the Hawks, Kate Wetmore. Kate, what a second half performance for you guys. 47 points. You guys stifled them defensively. It felt like on the defensive end of the floor, I want to start there, that in the first half they hit a lot of mid-range jumpers, but in the second half you guys stayed with your principles on that end. Was that the message at halftime?
Yeah, you know, I say this all the time. Like, we really utilize our defense to get us going on both ends. So we talked a lot about picking up the pressure, the urgency. We changed a few things in terms of the scout, and I thought the girls really stuck to it in the second half. We
just talked to Taisha. I mean, what a night. It felt pretty much flawless from her perspective. 29 points, 15 rebounds, 3 assists, but 0 turnovers as well. How impressive a performance is that, especially when she has the ball in her hands so much, to not only go for 29, but also not turn the ball over once?
I mean, her improvement is really incredible to watch. You know, she struggled with turnovers early on in the season, and she just kept at it, and she's doing everything we're asking. I mean, I think she's really improved leaps and bounds, and you know, one of the most dynamic players in this conference, in my opinion.
You got senior day this weekend, 9 seniors getting honored, which is crazy. And especially in this era where there's so much different transfer stuff, and you being a first-year head coach, it's obviously got to be a unique experience. But how do you prepare for the emotions of a game like that, even with being such an important game for you guys?
Yeah, you know, we want to honor them. The girls are all really close, and they want to play for each other. You know, the hope is that it's all positive emotions, and they can channel it into a good game. And I know that they will. They've been incredibly focused, you know, and I think they've given a lot to this university and this program, and we're excited just to honor all 9 of them, and hopefully it's a great game.
Well, you get to enjoy this dominant win first. Coach, congratulations on the victory, and best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Kev, back to you.
All right, that is Kate Wetmore, first-year head coach for Monmouth, that has led the Hawks to a 15-13 record, now 10-7 in the CAA after an 82-56 win over Towson tonight. Monmouth can clinch the 5th seed in the regular season finale here at home Saturday at 2 p.m. against Elon. But that's going to do it for us tonight. For my partner Jackson Heil and all of us here at the Monmouth Digital Network, I'm Kevin Kopp saying so long, everyone, from the Ocean First Bank Center in West Long Beach. Branch, where your final score tonight, Monmouth 82, Towson 56. Good night from the Monmouth Digital Network, Flow College, and NBC Sports Philly. We'll see you back here at the Jersey Shore on Saturday afternoon. And that's the only game that's not final, right? Okay, cool. win, I believe, over Towson.